And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Look it. Well, you know what I'm looking at that shirt. Kingston, whatever mines.
Yes.
What is that? That is a horrible looking
The
shirt.
fact
Just
that I've
horrible.
not even explained to you the legendary Kingston Mines in Chicago is just disgraceful.
The legendary.
It's John. Come on, buddy.
Come on. It's got a little jazz, a little music.
Man, it's so good. It's so good. We went there with some friends from Bellator, with Jay, with Jamie, with Chris, and Amanda. I mean, there was more, obviously, but I was drinking that night for the first time in months. So if I left you out, I apologize. But
because I don't remember you.
Man, the music is amazing there. The atmosphere is like, it has that old style atmosphere, you know. It was great, man. I love it. I'm glad I was able to go. Obviously bought the whole family shirts and stuff just so they can say they went, even though they didn't go. But I loved it. No, I think it's you've got to when you go to cities like that, John, you got to go to places like that.
I go to a place like that. I have a friend who every time he goes to a place that's like, you know, I don't care if it's a burger joint or whatever. If he is not where he lives, he buys shirts. He's got to have 500 freaking shirts from just dumbass burger shops or beer bars or just crazy.
Everyone has their thing. I mean, like for me, it was more like just when you visit something like this, it's historic. You know, what was it? I bought a shirt when we went to Wrigley Field. I may never go.
That's okay.
I may never go back.
That's okay.
I may take my son. I may never go back.
That's different.
You know what I mean?
Different.
Like you just, I don't know. You just want to go. I want to experience those things. I never knew that Wrigley Field had people that on the back side, where on the other side where the home run is, where they hit the home runs, there's apartments on that side.
Oh,
and
yeah.
People do rooftop parties. They do rooftop balcony parties and all that stuff. People will rent their Airbnb out their spots. So you get a view of the game. I mean, I think it's fantastic, man. I think it's fantastic. Like those are things that you would never, sure you can see it on TV, but you don't really get the gist of it until you're there in person, walking by the house and like they're charging entry fees. They have kegs out front. They've got music and DJs playing. And it reminded me of when I went to the Kentucky Derby. I pulled up to the Kentucky Derby expecting like extravagant, like parking, all this stuff. It's people's houses. Like you pull up right to the Kentucky Derby. And when you're at the Derby, like you park in someone's yard and they charge you $40. But the great thing about it, when you park there, at the end of it, because they have a certain amount of parking, what they've done is they've taken that money now. And if you can show them that you parked in their yard, you get free admission into their house party that they throw after, where they sell beer and they sell food and and there's a DJ. It's pretty awesome. So you leave the Kentucky Derby, you walk down to pick up your car, and you realize that there is a house party at every house where people park their vehicles, and you automatically get free admission into their house party if you parked. You can show them the stub that you parked in their property. And if you didn't, they charge you an admission to get into their house party. It's pretty cool, man. I think they got a good little, and then those people, when you buy or when you park your vehicle there, they have golf carts that run you to and from the front to drop you off in front of the Derby. I thought it was great, man. I mean, for me, it was an experience that I'll never forget. I had one of the best times at the Kentucky Derby. I never thought I would. And we did the Friday night races. We did the Saturday. It was so fun. It was so much fun, man. We had a blast. You don't got to bet a lot. It just makes so fun. You bet on every race, couple bucks, sometimes when you believe, you bet up to, 20, 30, 40, whatever it is. But majority of the time, you're just betting like $2 on this, $5 on this, and you're just trying to stay ahead of the game. As long as I'm not losing money, trying to stay. John, don't roll your damn eyes at me. Dude, it's fun.
Let me tell you something. If there was something I learned early on, horse racing is fixed.
You're such a hater. You're such a hater.
Fixed, I'm telling you.
In Idaho, it was actually on the border of Idaho and Washington when I was in high school. And you can gamble when you're 18. You've got to be 21. And so then I would go there when I turned 18, and they had dog races. And the dog races were so much fun. You go there, you get like 10 races for the day or whatever it is, or 20 race, whatever it was. And you'd have a blast, man. I had so much fun. And then PETA came in and fucked it all up. And now dogs, you can't race dogs there and all this other shit. Now it sucks. I
would go to Australia, and I have a friend there, Andy Raymond. He was a big time, you know what footy is? Footy is like rugby.
No, footy is not that. Footy is soccer.
No, footy is, they call it footy in Australia. It's like rugby.
Okay.
Because there's Australian rules football and then there's rugby.
Mm-hmm.
And so they call it footy. And Andy's one of the play-by-play guys for a long time with it and stuff. Well-known guy. But every time we get together, his wife Terry and Elaine, we would go to this place that he had that was this little dive bar area with pizza, and you could bet on every damn horse race, dog race. I don't care what it was. They would race it, camel racing, all around the world. And it was all up on these TVs, and you could bet on all of them. It was nuts.
I love it. I love it. I mean, like, and that's the biggest thing is like, you don't have, people keep, there's this misconception. I have to bet $15, $25, $50. No. It's so much fun just to bet $1, to bet $2. Yeah. When you believe, you bet as high as $5. You know what I mean? Like when you believe, like it's like outside of that. I mean,
I have a feeling.
I just bet to see if I make enough to make the next bet. That's all. Like, because it just makes it more fun. Like you're literally yelling for a horse. You got skin in the game, man, and it's fun. Now, I'm not telling everyone to go out there and be a fucking degenerate. Okay, I'm just telling you guys
I am.
That I am. Yeah, that I enjoy it. I enjoy a little bit of the hustle, man. I love it. Just trying to pick the winners. Look, it's really hard to pick winners in MMA, especially when you're as connected as John and I, because even though we don't think our emotions and our knowledge get in the way, they get in the way. It gets in the way every single damn time. Oh,
well, if there's one thing that's proven, your emotions absolutely get in the way.
Yeah, but my emotions have been right quite a bit, John.
Oh, see, there you go. You're trying to go there. You're the guy that if there was a guy that could be swayed,
yes.
If you want to have someone on your jury, you killed somebody, okay? But if Josh Thompson is in the jury pool, pick him. Yeah. Because I'm promising you.
Yep.
You could put the murder weapon, you could put a videotape of you doing it, and he can definitely be swayed that you're innocent.
Absolutely. What's that song, Dave? What's that song by Shaggy? About like, she caught me on the counter.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. She caught me on the counter. It wasn't me. Like, bro, even if I saw you, no, I don't believe it. Like, I just don't. I just don't. I don't want to believe that someone would kill somebody. I'm on your side, brother. If I didn't see the knife go in at that very moment or whatever, it's all
videotape
staged.
AI.
Totally. It's all Hollywood.
Hollywood. All right, guys. Hey, are you gonna pull up this Zoom, or are you just gonna let me look at your ugly face on the Zoom?
Wait. Oh, snap.
He just doesn't.
I didn't even realize that it wasn't shared.
He doesn't do anything to try to help, and he just sitting there. He doesn't even push the buttons anymore.
Yeah, I know.
In the vein of Colby Covington, John, I'm gonna need you to drop and give me 10 push-ups. You're gonna have to drop and give me 10 push-ups if you want me to do anything.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no,
John's never gonna get back up.
Call 911. Call 911.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got him.
We got him. Yeah.
10, baby. Boom.
You already look later.
I can now ask Colby a question at Media Day.
There is no way he did 10 that fast.
I swear to God, I just did.
I was
ready to go.
I was waiting for you to hit that life alert button to get your ass
falling and I can't get up.
The fucking life alert.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, hey guys. Before we get started, man, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to us on this channel. We want to thank you guys so much. Also follow us over at OnlyFans. We did a live show right before we came on here, and we talked about something on there with the Clarissa Shields sparring session. So if you guys want to see what we had to say on there, subscribe to us over there. It's free. The content over there is free. It does not cost anything. If you do not follow porn stars, then they will not come up on your feed. Or if you follow us, whatever it is we post will come up on your feed. Don't worry about having to see coochie in your face and all the other stuff, okay? Because unless you follow it, okay, it will not come up on your feed. If you just follow us and subscribe to us and all the other fighters that are on that platform, you've got Chris Cyborg, you've got AJ McKee, you've got Luke Rockhold, Charles Oliveira. I mean, there's plenty more that I know that I'm skipping. Brett Primus is on there. There's a lot of fighters that are going to be on there. I know there's a new fighter that they're about to sign, but I can't say anything about it until they get the deal and the full contract is completely done. But you guys will be stoked because he's one of the all-time favorites in the world that people love. He absolutely loves. They actually love him. Fans love him. So he will be signing with them hopefully here shortly. But I'm excited for him to be on that platform. And we will hopefully get him on this podcast. That is the plan. That is something big, huge. Love it. All right, guys. But follow us over at onlyfans.com/weighing-in and hit also the weighing-in-merch.com. weighing-in-merch.com is hoodie season, as John is saying, and hats and all the other stuff. I've reached out to our provider as well, our merch guy, and try to get you guys some sweats and some beanies designed up and put up on our site as soon as possible for Christmas gifts. As John said last week, it's the holiday season. Let's give people
open it up, baby.
Something that says weighing in. No. Let's not check our weight, okay? But let's give them that says weighing in. All right. Especially let's avoid checking the weight till after the holidays. Let's jump right into this, man. UFC 296. You got Edwards versus Covington. Woo! We got
talk to me, baby. You go. I'm just letting you go.
You're just gonna let me go.
I'm just gonna.
You're gonna let me go.
Yeah, because see, everyone says I'm a Colby hater, which I am not.
You are not. I know you're not.
But okay,
look. People are gonna.
I'm just gonna let you go,
John. People are gonna always see, like Dave. Dave's gonna see things through his lens. We're gonna see things through our lens. Our lens tends to be more on the knowledge side, and Dave's lens tends to be more on the trash side. And so it's yes, he's emotionally attached. Yes,
emotionally involved.
His heart pitter patters every time.
Do you know? Colby Covington. Oh, dude, I got to show you a picture. Did I send you that picture
of what Colby Covington?
Because it reminded me of Dave looking at Colby Covington.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, but it is Tyson Fury. I got it, dude. I'm sending this to you right now. This is because I love you, right here. You're gonna love it. Oh my God!
Is this going on the air or no?
Yeah. Yeah, I can go on the air. I'll send it to you too, Dave.
Oh, the dead space right now is killing me.
Oh my God!
Well, why, John? Well, while John's twinking around with his phone from
tell me when you see this.
Let me see this thing. Let me see.
Hey, I'm gonna go back to one of the damn flip phones.
Oh Jesus, man! Oh my gosh.
Okay, hold on. What do you see?
I mean, like normally I would say Chris Martel, but it's the Hammer. Yo, my boy Chris. Oh man, Chris, brother, I love you, man. He's the Hammer. But yeah, this is hilarious. Wow, that's the guy on the right does look a little bit but yeah, I see the Hammer, bro. Do you not? Do you not see
it? Dude.
Okay.
I just looked and said, damn.
Yeah.
Tyson's excited.
Blessed. I call it blessed. Did you send it to Dave?
Yes. Oh yeah,
he's got it pulled up. Jesus criminy, man. Jeez. I mean, save some women for us. You know? I mean, you actually, if you're that size, you probably did save some women for us because they ain't fucking with that. They're like, nah. They're like, nah, I'm good. I'll pass on that. He's like,
he's not only running boxing, he's running everything.
Yeah, he's running through it is what he's running. Jesus. It's coming out the back. He's like, whew. Oh man. Okay, look, I'm not going to run too much. I'm not going to say I'm not going to run too much.
So I just wanted to, my whole purpose of that photo, every time Dave sees a picture of Colby, that's how Dave gets.
A little stiff in the willy.
Just a little stiff in the wills.
You guys, look, if it seems like we don't like Colby, it's because we like to give Podcast Dave a hard time because he's a huge Colby Covington fan. Huge.
Crazy.
Look, I think that Colby does have a good chance of winning this fight. I believe that stylistically, he is probably one of the only ones that has a good chance of beating Leon Edwards in this weight class. That being said, my concern with Colby Covington, yes, my concern with Colby Covington is his inactivity.
Yes.
That's it. That's all. Yeah. That's the only thing that I have, that I think that Leon Edwards is going to win this fight, is because of the inactivity of Colby Covington fighting top level fighters. He has not done that in a while. Beating George Masvidal, I get it, but George is old. Yeah. George is not the same fighter he was when he was younger. He's not the same. His takedown defense is good. Okay, but the age got to him. The conditioning started to get to him. He couldn't get his cardio up to the level that it was going to take to beat Colby Covington. Beating Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley was getting older as well. His takedown, he fell in love with his power. Didn't work on the wrestling as much as he used to. And I'm not trying to take away from Colby Covington at all and his wins and his successes. I'm not. What I'm saying is the guys that he beat that put him in the position he's in now are not at the level of which Leon Edwards is operating at right now. He is at a different level than all the other guys that Colby Covington has fought. Now, like I said from the beginning, there's a good chance Colby can win this fight. I'm going to lean with Leon, though. The speed, the movement, the mobility, the activity of fighting someone who is very tailor-made, like Kamaru Usman was for Leon. He understands, if I can take you down, put you on your back, or I can stuff your takedowns and make you pay, this will be a different fight. You will second guess who you are. You won't fight the aggressive fight that you think you're going to be able to fight against somebody else that you have fought. You can't fight me the way you fought George Masvidal. You can't fight me the way that you fought Tyron Woodley. You fight me those ways, I'm knocking you the fuck out. That's what Leon Edwards is thinking. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm saying that I'm leaning towards Leon because of those reasons. He's fought top-level fighters, and he has been active as of lately. Colby has not been.
Okay. He does have the skill to win the fight because his wrestling is absolutely, it's top-notch as far as for MMA because he is consistently aggressive with it. He goes after it. He chain wrestles together. He doesn't stop. He doesn't quit on it. If he misses the first one, he's going to go for the second one. And when he misses the second one, he's going to go for the third and the fourth and the fifth. And it just goes on and on and on. So that's his way of winning it. His way of winning this fight, in my opinion, is he's got to go 5 rounds. He's got to go 5 rounds, and he's got to win those rounds by putting Leon on his back and being able to control the position of the fight, try to do some damage down there. He's not going to be able to do a bunch, but he's got a pressure, and he weaponizes his cardiovascular in a way that he can push the pace and push someone off of the cliff. Here's the problem. 32 years of age compared to Colby's now 35, almost 36. You look at the 170 pounds and down, about 80% of the time, the younger fighter wins. Who's the younger fighter here?
Yeah.
It's Leon. And so the fact that Colby has not been fighting is a big factor in my mind as far as he's got to get past that, because he's got to get past that comfort level that is just when you are busy and doing things, it becomes that repetition factor where it just becomes normal. And he hasn't been in that because he hasn't been fighting, and so he's going to have to get past there's always going to be nerves, and there's nerves on both sides. And there's always going to be, some trepidation, fear, whatever you want to call it, as far as you never want to go out there and look bad. But there's not fear of the opponent. You just don't want to make the mistake that puts you away fast. So I look at everything there is here, and Colby can definitely win the fight, but he's going to have to beat a really good fighter in Leon, a guy whose stand-up is very clean. He's got a reach advantage on Colby. Everything there is. You're looking, Colby's 5'11", Leon is 6'2". You're looking at Colby's got a reach of about 72 inches. I believe that Leon Edwards has a reach of 74.5. Not that much of a difference, but when you're the better striker, it's a difference.
And you're faster.
And that's the other part of it when you look at it. Speed-wise, Colby is not slow, but he's going to be at a disadvantage as far as when the fight is at distance.
I've said it before. Leon's probably the fastest fighter I've ever sparred with. I've said this before. When I trained with him when he was younger, okay, I know it was a while back, but he came after he had lost to Kamaru Usman. He came to AK to get some wrestling in, and I was like, "Who is this young guy?" I was out there trading with him, doing this, doing that, and I was like, "You are just fucking fast." He was so fast, and for me, I was in my prime. I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing, and this kid was hitting me. I'm like, "Who is this kid?" Now, I'd never seen him fight. I didn't know who he was. Fuck. I mean, and look at him now. Look at him now. Like he said,
look at him now.
Look at me now.
And now,
yeah.
And now he's a lot better fighter than he was when you were.
Absolutely. Night and day. It's completely night and day. But John, go back to the rankings, if you could. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to call it out here first. The loser of this fight is going to fight. If Shavkat beats Stephen Thompson, he's going to fight Shavkat. The loser of this fight is going to fight Shavkat, and Shavkat from then on will be the next person to fight for the title. They are going to pass everybody up. And
you think they're going to pass Bilal up? Yeah.
I think all the things that have been said about Shavkat in the gym. You got to remember, Kamaru Usman comes from Kill Cliff. Ian Garry comes from Kill Cliff.
No, Ian Garry doesn't come from anywhere.
Well, I don't know where he's at now.
I don't know. No one does.
Well, he was there just a couple. What last?
He
his
was
last
there.
Fight.
He was there.
So Ian Garry, Ian Garry was there. Okay, Shavkat is there. Kamaru Usman is there. Gilbert Burns is there. All those guys are in that gym. Shavkat is the buzz, the talk, all the conversation.
He's the boogeyman.
That's exactly what they call him, the boogeyman.
Yep, he's the boogeyman.
I look at if he beats Stephen Thompson, he will fight the loser of this fight, and that will put him right in contention to fight for the title shot. Maybe in that process of fighting the loser, they'll have Bilal fight the winner for the title. I could see that happening. And then having, Shavkat probably be the backup if someone does fall off in the title shot. That's the way it would look. But I look at it. That's what they're looking to do. Because if you look at Shavkat, he's young, but not only is he young, but he fights a very exciting style of fighting.
He finishes
people. But on top of that, he is a nasty matchup for both Leon and for Colby Covington. So
I agree.
It's when I can't say much more about this fight. It's a good fight. For me, it's the inactivity of Colby against top-level competition, and that says a lot. I mean, I've been in this game for 20-something years, John, and you've since dirt, okay? But it's like literally like I'm saying, my best years of my career when I was active, when I was fighting 3-4 times a year, when I could get as many fights as I could, is when I had my most success.
Yeah,
there's something to it. And right now, Colby Covington's fought twice in the last basically 3 years. It's not against world-class world beaters. It's against fighters that are older in the tooth. And nothing against those fighters. They were great when they were younger, but they weren't great when they fought Colby Covington. That being said, he's got the ability, he's got the talent to beat Leon, but he's got the one way of doing it. Wrestling him, controlling him, and that's it. He will,
but he's got to do it. In my opinion, he's got to do it round after round after round. Which is, I'm not saying he can't do it. It's just not easy.
Well, what we saw though also is the way that Leon Edwards is able to now control wrist control, get himself back up to his feet, 2 hands on one, not allowing you to lock your hands. He's understand how to scrape you off the fence, how to get up from out in the open, how to just that wrist control is so key. When you're watching him, he knows that you can't follow him this direction with the fence this way. So he knows how to get out. He knows how to take the arm over the head and put his back to the fence and then face you and knee you. And then when he does escape, which I was really impressed by. He circles back out to the middle. You know how many dumb people dumb fighters that I've met that they get away and then they put their back to the fence.
Back to the fence.
I'm like, what are you doing? You just got your ass back up. What are you doing? Get away. Get away from the fence. He is fighting at another level right now. And that's in a fight, though, it's not to be said that Colby can't win this fight. I think he can. But Leon, to me, right now, is operating on a different level.
I agree.
Okay.
But that's why you do the fight. But in my opinion, the one thing, I look at this, and you might disagree with me, but I honestly believe the pressure in this fight is on Colby. There's a ton riding for him on this because look at where he's at. Mm-hmm. Look at his record for the last 4 fights, 2-2. Okay. If he loses this one, his record for the last 5 fights is 2-3.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not going to be being thought of as someone, he's going to drop way down in the rankings.
But can you say that against 3 title fights? I don't think say that against 3 title fights. Can you say that against 3 title fights?
Can you say it against 3 title fights?
He's saying his losses have been for 3 losses.
His losses? Yeah, they're title fights. No doubt. Look, I'm not saying that. Look, he's a good fighter, and he is a tough individual. Mm-hmm. But when you take a look at, it's no different. When Josh, you talk about all the time. I don't want to get that second one. That I got a loss. I can't get that second one. And you start thinking, and your brain starts working in certain ways, and you create the pressure. Mm-hmm. For yourself in a fight that sometimes you just got to go out and be free. And I look at this one, he knows what he's up against. He's not a dumb person. He's a smart guy. And he knows that Leon has advantages over him in certain areas, and he has his advantages. But he's going to be in that position. I'm just looking, I think the pressure to me in this fight is riding more on Colby Covington's shoulders than it is the champion's Leon Edwards.
I would agree with you 100%. The fact that you thought I would disagree with you kind of makes me upset. Because the reason being is Dave pulled back up the rankings. I will disagree with you on one part. I don't think he's going to drop a lot. What I do think, though, is that what he's done is he's painted himself into a corner. Fighters put more pressure on themselves when they're not active because that pisses the UFC off. That's one. 2 is he's talked his way into this shot. Nope, I'm waiting. Nope, I'm waiting. Nope, I beat that guy. Nope, I'm not. That automatically puts the pressure on you now because the UFC is finally you know what? Fuck it. Let's just give him the title shot. He gets the title shot. If you lose, don't ask us for another one. You're going to have to fight 3 or 4 more times because also, too, you're 35. You'll be 36 in February.
There you go.
We have no use for you anymore.
Before he ever worked himself back to a title.
Yes.
What's his age?
So he has put the pressure now on himself to win this title. He needs to win this title because if he doesn't, I don't see him ever really getting a title shot again outside of an outstanding knockout submission performance over somebody like a Shavkat or over somebody like if Bilal was to be next, maybe beating Bilal. But honestly, stylistically, those 2 fights are not good matchups for him either. So I'm not saying he can't win them, but I'm simply saying his inactivity is one. He's put the pressure on himself, like I'm agreeing with you, is because he's waited it out and he's done the talking now to get himself into this position. But now if you don't win, you've just taken all that time off with no money, no pay. You really are banking on you winning this title. And I don't know after this seeing the way that Leon Edwards is able to stuff takedowns. He's the faster fighter. He is the younger fighter. He is somebody that the wrist control to me is going to be key in this fight. His way of getting back up to his feet is phenomenal, man. It's phenomenal. And on the feet, it's like night and day. It's just a completely different fight. Doesn't mean he can't get clipped. Leon got clipped with Nate. Got clipped there. Doesn't mean he can't get clipped. Colby Covington doesn't have traditional style stand-up. The overhand right, the funky uppercuts mixed in with the wrestling, all that stuff. I mean, he could catch Leon. He could. I mean, if I was to say if he was to win this fight, it's either going to be by a decision and grinding him out, which I think is actually less likely than Colby Covington catching him with a shot in a weird angle in times of just throwing an overhand right or throwing an uppercut and an overhand right or whatever in that type of thing, in that type of exchange to get in on the double that drops Leon because Leon's worried about defending the takedowns. That's more of the way I see Colby winning this fight, not him grinding him out for 5 rounds. I don't think that's possible.
In a way, when you look at it though, hasn't Leon been put in a position where his last 2 fights, he's fighting someone who's very similar to Colby?
You could say he's better.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my point. Very similar in the fact that he's got good wrestling. He's got a gas tank. He can go. He puts a lot of pressure on you. But Kamaru Usman's got power in his punching. Colby doesn't have that same amount of power.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is that Kamaru Usman is a traditional style stand-up guy. Straight jab, straight right hand, straight hook, all those things. He is a traditional style stand-up guy. Colby Covington his stand-up is sloppy. It comes from all angles. Those are difficult guys to deal with when you know the takedown's coming. Do I take his shitty shot and focus on stuffing the takedown, or do I defend the shitty shot, like the shitty striking, and then get taken down and work my way back up to the feet? It's a mind fuck. It really is. And so he's gonna have to deal with that type of thing. I think though that Leon's gonna have the speed and the ability to stick the jab, to rip the body kick, to rip the calf kick, slow Colby down early in the fight, and then be able to start picking him apart, like as in using his power shots and getting in 3 and 4 punch combinations by rounds 3 and 4. If he does good work in rounds 1 and 2 by eating up the calf, eating up the body, keeping Colby's elbows loyal to his ribs with the body kicks and also the head kicks. Those things will keep that fight a wrestler. They'll keep their hands here versus, okay, let me reach out and grab something. No. I got to keep him here. I'm going to get knocked the fuck out. So Leon's got to fight a smart fight, but he's got to fight a perfect fight. That's the way I look at this.
Yeah. All right. Before we go on to the next one, Dave, what's your breakdown on this fight?
No, Dave, seriously, give us something, buddy.
Come on, Dave. I want to hear it.
Try to pull the sack out of your mouth, okay? And just give us something real, though. Give us what you really believe, though, but in a real way, though.
I could see a scenario where this looks like the last Leon Usman fight, and it could go all 5 rounds, and it could be a tough this, because the last Usman and Edwards fight was it wasn't like totally one-sided, but it was like if it
the rounds were close.
Yeah,
but in the end you could see who was winning them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling this is gonna be one of those fights where you don't feel totally satisfied with what you paid your money for, but it could, and Colby I think could be good enough to get a win that way.
He could, no doubt about it. I agree with you.
And the roles could be reversed. We could totally not be satisfied even if Leon won. It's funny you brought that up, Dave, because I was actually thinking like Leon could end up finding a conservative fight because every fighter's biggest fear is to lose to Colby Covington. It's true.
Hold on, it's the same thing that happened with guys fighting Tito.
Yeah,
I can't lose to Tito.
Yeah. Tito, the Conor McGregor, like they're like, no, I'm not losing to that guy. Like I fucking hate that guy. I don't want to lose to him. And that's just.
And I think Colby's going to be ready for the head kick now that he's seen it once. Saw the attempts, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he's going to be a bit more prepared with a head movement, the getting out of the way of that head kick, and
I would.
It might just be enough.
You're right, but the thing is, he has a tendency to dip his head a lot when he throws his striking. He's kind of a hunched over striker, which is why I think that there's a chance Leon could get caught with a little overhand right or loopy uppercut / overhand right. I could say that, but I could also see Colby getting clipped with a push kick up the face or a knee up the face or a jumping flying knee, because Colby dips his head a lot when he strikes.
But is Edwards the guy that he can take down off of one of those fairly, not easily, but more easily than Usman, and do enough with a takedown to score enough to win a round.
I think there's no doubt he can take Leon down. The question is, can he keep him down?
Yeah. You know, look, I
but what scores the points? What scores the points? The takedown or the keeping him down?
No, damage. It's the takedown itself is not so much, you know, and this is where people get confused. A takedown is not because my butt hit the ground. It's what do you do with the takedown? If my butt hits the ground and is on the ground for two seconds and I've worked myself back to my feet and nothing has happened within that, that's no different than a change of position on the feet. It's the exact same thing. There was nothing that was landed except there was a momentary change of position from standing to ground back to standing. That is not a takedown. That doesn't score anything. Now, if it's the only thing that happens in that round, yeah, I would give it to Colby Covington based upon, hey, he went for the takedown. It put Leon on the ground for 2 seconds and Leon got back up. That might be the one thing that you say, oh, I'm going to, I don't want to give a 10-10. I would give a 10-10 in that situation, but someone doesn't want to. They can say, well, Colby got a takedown. It really is not a takedown. A takedown is when you put somebody on the ground and control the position. Having that person on the ground, you get and maintain that position and do some type of damage. Now, I'm going to give you credit for the takedown too, because you did something. The time that the takedown will count and makes it to where I don't care. I take and I elevate. I'm Colby and I elevate Leon up in the air and then bring him down onto the canvas with impact. That counts the same as a punch. That counts the same as, a big time strike because that hurts. And it has an effect on the fighter, even if he bounces right back up. No one, I don't care who you are, no one wants to get bounced off of the canvas. Yeah. It doesn't feel good. Sometimes it hurts you bad. So, that counts all the time. But if it's just butt hits the ground and he's back up, that doesn't mean anything really.
There's a like when I look at styles in terms of like what they do bring to the table, Colby brings the cardio. Leon has been known to sometimes he's got great cardio.
Not anymore.
But he doesn't fight at the pace in which would push the action. He fights a very, I don't want to say conservative.
Controlled.
He fights a very controlled fight, which is very high fight IQ. He understands like, look, I can't be just out there blowing as fast as I can and then get exhausted and then don't have anything left. Colby's the opposite of that. He will put himself in harm's way to try to get you and grind on you and do that. But outside of the wrestling and the cardio, all the other features, I feel like all the other factors in this fight favor Leon Edwards. I favor that the takedown defense, or sorry, not takedown defense, but the ground game itself, the submissions, that favors Leon. I think the striking favors Leon. I think his footwork and his ability to speed favors Leon. Colby has cardio and wrestling. I don't look at a big submission threat from Colby Covington. Not against Leon Edwards. I'm not saying it can't happen, but he's going to have to catch him in some sort of transition. I think Leon is better than him on the ground and grappling. I think he's better than him on the feet. I think he's a better striker in footwork. All those things are going to play a big factor in this fight. And I'm obviously leaning towards Leon, but not to say that Colby can't get it done.
Yep.
All right, next fight.
All right, we have the title fight. The new champion, Mr. Alexander Pantoja, against Brandon Royval. This is a great matchup. I love both guys.
This is a rematch, correct?
Yeah.
Have they fought twice before or just once? This is the one where Royval dislocated his shoulder, correct?
No.
Or that was against Moreno.
That was against Moreno.
There you go. Okay.
I believe that they fought once before and he's got a loss to him.
God.
Yep,
Yeah.
Right there.
That's once.
Yeah, all the way up. Yeah, he lost him just the one time.
Right there.
He got caught with a rear naked choke. That was the fight right after Brandon Moreno when he had dislocated his shoulder. He wasn't the same fighter.
Yeah. Well,
so we're gonna
now you're gonna see, is he the same fighter? Because this is an interesting match. Royval is fun to watch. Mm-hmm. He goes everywhere. He's got good stand up. He's got a good ground game. Pantoja's got good stand up. He's got a great ground game. these guys match up really well. It's a question of who's going to get the momentum in the fight. Obviously Pantoja has more experience. I always say that when you become the champion, you get a little bit better.
10, 15% better, I think.
A little bit difference in that percentage points as far as how you are. And that sometimes can make big differences in fights and stuff. So Pantoja, look, he's been there and done it against everybody. He's got, 5 losses or something, but he's good. He is good. And just the way when he won the title against Moreno, you take a look there. There were moments, Josh, when you could look at that fight and you go, he's breaking. He never did.
No.
He kept coming back. Every time Moreno would step on the gas and go after him, he would step on the gas and go back after him. And you just had to look and say, man, just a great effort. And I don't know. He might hold on to that title for a while. He's been running around all the time, beating everybody, but never got the chance. And then he gets the chance. Look at what he's done.
John, I talk about this from my own career, and I talk about it from the experience of my own career. There's fights in your career that stick with you. There's fights in your career that define you for you though. What I mean by that is it's
you learn something about yourself.
Exactly. I think his fight with Moreno was the fight that he learned a lot about himself.
I agree.
And I think that Brandon Royval is a fantastic fighter, but becoming the champion, and the way that he did it, he learned so much more about himself. I think he realizes my body and my brain can do a lot more than I believed in myself could do. And that's dangerous. That to me is someone like going, there's not one thing you can do to me. I know I can do it. I know I can break through this. I know I can push harder in training. I know I can fight harder in this cage. He has been tested to the limit. Brandon Moreno pushed him to the breaking points, and that got him back down. He didn't take a step back. He pushed through. He learned something about himself as a champion, and then putting that belt around his waist, it's in his mind now that everything I've done has led me to this point, and I'm not giving it up to you.
Yeah,
I just look at Pantoja. If he is a fraction, I would say not a fraction. If he's 98% of what he was last fight, I think he steamrolls Royval.
It's doing a lot.
It
Royval
is.
Good.
He's good. He's tough. He's
a
all those things.
young fighter.
But Pantoja right now, I feel like is operating on a different level, just a different level.
Yep.
And we're going to see if the KOs. Now, look, on the flip side, I'm going to play devil's advocate on this.
Let's hear it.
Did he give it all so much that he's like, I know I can do it. I've already done it. And then he's taking it for granted. We've seen that. We've seen that from fighters.
We've seen that, but you take a look at where he trains and the people that he trains with and the things that the coaches say about him. He's not that. Well,
I take it from what he said after about how all he did was try to fight for his father's approval. Yeah, and that I'm telling you, man, these fighters, majority of us came from a place that not many people want to come from, and that wouldn't be able to handle. And this young man has been fighting for someone's approval. And John, you and I both have fathers, and we both understood what it was like to be, to look for their approval and to want it, and to just, that's all we wanted. And this young man did it, and man, it's not done. He's not done yet. He's not done.
I don't think so.
And so I'm not taking anything away from Brandon Royval. He's a fantastic fighter, one of the most exciting fighters to watch too. He lets it all go. But outside of Pantoja getting clipped or caught making a mistake, I think that it's going to be his night.
I agree. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov against Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson. This is a great welterweight matchup, but when you're taking a look at Shavkat, 17-0, so no one has figured out how to get past this guy. And like we have just said earlier, they call him the Boogeyman. That's what his nickname is at Kill Cliff FC. And everyone there says, no, there's something special about him.
Well, let's get into like the sacrifices that fighters make.
Okay.
I saw a video today. His sister got married, I think yesterday or over the weekend, and he's FaceTiming in because he didn't go.
Yeah.
And she understands his goals. He understands what's important for him. This fight against Stephen Thompson is his next step to one step closer to the title. 17-0, has a chance to do something that, not a lot of people have been able to do, and that's beat Stephen Thompson. And then that, I believe, because of his age, because of the way he fights, I believe he'll leapfrog almost everyone and probably get right to the loser of the title fight against Colby and Leon. I think he'll end up fighting the loser of that fight. There, people amongst the UFC that I've talked to, Dana's all about him. They love everything about him. UFC loves everything about him. They are looking forward to seeing him potentially fight for the title as soon as possible. So it's gonna be a good fight. Stephen, though, being at his age, what do you think?
Look, I love Stephen Thompson.
I hear a butt.
He's a phenomenal fighter. But again, this is no different than what I just said about Colby Covington and Leon. Stephen is way older than Shavkat, and as good a stand-up fighter as Stephen is, we have seen that he has slowed down in some areas. He's still fast. I'm not saying that he's not fast. He's still got speed, but he's not as fast as he used to be. And, you take a look at what has been done by certain fighters to get him to the ground. Shavkat has proven he has the wrestling ability to get in on Wonder Boy, get him to the ground, and do damage there. But he can stand up with him. Now, it's going to be a little bit awkward in the beginning because anybody that is fighting Wonder Boy has to bide their time in what they're doing based upon the length and the ability for Stephen to cover distance quickly. And he does that. He does it well. And, we talk all the time about more fighters are starting to do the things that Stephen Thompson has done for a while. We normally don't train people to throw same side kicks and punches. Okay. Stephen Thompson does it, and he does it better than anybody else. And he's done it for a long time, and he's caught a lot of people. His
first knockout in the UFC was with that.
Exactly. Yep. And so you look and you go, he does things that we normally tell people don't do that.
Yeah.
And he does it well, and he makes it work. We just saw, what was the fight we just saw was, Arman Sarukian.
Yeah.
Look at what he did in knocking out Benil. Same side. It's awkward. It's not something we normally tell someone to do, but it can be effective. Yeah. And Stephen Thompson is the guy that made it something that you had to go, oh, he's dangerous. He can do this. So can he catch him? He could catch anybody.
Yeah.
He's got that talent. He's got power. He's got power in his kicks. They're fast. I just look at the age factor is going to work against him. He's going to get, he's always in shape, but he's going to have pressure on him in a fashion by Rakhmonov that is difficult as far as you controlling, where the engagements occur. Rakhmonov he's going to push on those. And that's going to put Stephen at a point where he's having to work a little bit harder than he wants to. It's a little bit harder than what's comfortable.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that, if that plays out in the fight.
I agree with you. I want to know how Shavkat, guys like, let me go back a little bit. Guys like Stephen Thompson and Lyoto Machida, those guys, and just fought last weekend. Tim Elliott.
Excuse me.
Their style of which they fight, it's hard to train for.
Yeah.
And so when you're dealing with a fighter like that, how is Shavkat I think he's going to have to work the cobwebs out. He's going to have to work through it a little bit in that first 2.5, 3, maybe even the first round.
Maybe the first round, yeah.
Because when you go back and you watch Kevin Holland when he fought Stephen Thompson, he's like, man, he's faster than I thought. It's coming from areas I didn't think it would come from. And Kevin Holland's tall.
Kevin Holland's a fast fighter.
He's a fast fighter as well.
Yeah.
Shavkat is a tall fighter as well. So is Stephen Thompson. How is Stephen going to deal with someone that's very similar in height, if not taller, and just more aggressive, fights a very aggressive fight. Shavkat is there to be hit, though. That's the other thing. He's not someone that's not. He's there.
He's not elusive.
He's not elusive. He's someone that can be hit. So this makes
he's got a chin.
He's got a chin. It makes for a fun fight. It makes for a really fun fight because I look for him to take the fight to the ground. But from what I understand from Killcliff FC is that don't expect him to probably shoot because it's just not what he does. Like he'll do it in transition, but he's not out there just shooting double legs. You know, he will work his way, his kickboxing, get into the clinch, a little bit of a hip toss, foot sweep, whatever it is, trip, whatever it is, he'll do. But don't look for him just to be down there like shooting far away to cover the gap and the double leg. It's not going to happen. So I want to see how he handles that Stephen Thompson funkiness, like how people handled Machida, and even though he's getting older, it's still hard to deal with. Great fight, though. This is going to be a great fight. Next
one, we've got the man Tony Ferguson taking on Paddy Pimblett. This is an interesting matchup, and you take a look, and it's as good a fight for Tony as I think you can get for him as far as what Paddy does, how good he is, and how many eyeballs are on Paddy. Because there's a lot of people that are going to be rooting for Paddy. There's a lot of people behind him. They like his swagger, his style, all that stuff. So I look at, Tony's had, a long run of losses now. And, he had a huge run of wins and then all losses, some of them vicious as far as knockouts, like the Chandler knockout. He's been got submitted by Bobby Green. But if you're going to look at the best fight possible for him as far as name recognition and not quite the best fighter out there, not a guy in the top 10, this is the guy. This is a good fight for Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, this fight should tell everybody, everything they need to know. Is Tony Ferguson still got something or is it really gone?
I don't want to put any disrespect on Paddy Pimblett.
No, I don't want to disrespect him either, but you got to take a look. Name recognition, the way people react to him, it's there.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is.
But is his fighting ability, if you take a look at, people in the lightweight division, does he belong in the top 10?
No.
Does he belong in the top 15?
Pull up the top 15. Let me see who number 15 is. Who's number 15 for the lightweights?
Drew
Dober.
No.
Okay. Does he beat Drew? Does he beat Moicano? Does he beat Bobby Green? Does he beat Saint Denis?
See, my thing is he better than Bobby Green? I don't think he's better than Bobby Green. And I know Tony just lost to Bobby Green. I don't think he's better than Bobby Green. The thing that concerns me about Tony Ferguson is that his body on the ground, but John, his body on the ground is not the same as it was years ago. And so when you and I talked the other day and we were on the show and I said, I'm getting the itch to fight bare knuckle boxing, or I'm getting the itch to fight boxing, it's because I don't want to train wrestling. I enjoy grappling, but I enjoy grappling with old people. Tony Ferguson's put his body through hell. He's had, the knee injury. He's had issues with injuries. He does history, or people have told me that he was never the guy that trained the smartest. He just trained the hardest. That means that his body, and if you watch him do his knee slide thing before every fight, and it's sad, you watch it from 2014 to 2022, it's a completely different person. And so when I'm looking at this fight, if Paddy Pimblett can get this fight to the ground, I think there's a chance that he wins this fight. I think on the feet, Paddy Pimblett's in for a dog fight. And everyone's like, oh, what are you talking about? Tony's chin is gone. Tony, I'm sorry, but last I checked, he fought Justin Gaethje. He fought Michael Chandler. His losses are to guys in the top 5 and top 8, whatever it is. His loss to Bobby Green and to Nate Diaz, I mean, he got submitted. But like I just said, He is not the same guy on the ground that he was 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when his body was able to take the abuse and keep coming through. As you get older, it's the ground. It's the ground that sucks. You don't train it as much. Your knees don't bend as much. The techniques you were utilizing to get to the arm bars and the submissions, you can't because your hips and your knees. I just got back doing stem cells. What the fuck you think I was there for? Because of all the damage I did to my body grappling so much. And I loved grappling. But my submission transitions were shit towards the end of my career. They weren't great. I mean, just because I just couldn't do it, and Tony's kind of in that age bracket of 37, 38, whatever it is. You can't do it, man. So I look at Paddy. Paddy, I don't think is the best grappler after seeing him on the ground several times now. I don't think he's the best grappler. But Tony's also not the same.
He's got a decent ground game.
He's a decent. But he's not. But Tony's not the same grappler that he was years ago. On the feet, and I look at this fight on the feet. I would give it to Tony. I think Paddy's got the Paddy's got the power.
I'm not exactly.
He's got the explosiveness.
Got more power than.
But John
he's got more speed.
As after the first round, will he still have it?
I'm not saying. I don't know.
He cuts so much weight because he lets himself get out. By the second and third round, he's not the same fighter.
I agree. I think that's one of the biggest problems that he's going to have to look at and figure out. Mm-hmm. Hey, if I want to do this for a career, if I want to be that guy, I got to be full time. It's not like, I have a fight and then I just go crazy and I gain 50 pounds. I'll lose it again. No, you can do it when you're 25.
Listen, Cage Wars, buddy. Okay, exactly. You're not fighting Joe Blow down off the street that just got off the bar stool. No, you're fighting the guy that's going to get you into the top 15. That's what you're fighting right now. And so I there's ways that I see Paddy Pimblett winning this fight. If it hits the ground, I could see Paddy muscling his way to a side choke, muscling his way to the back, muscling his way to potentially an arm bar or something along those lines, utilizing that grappling in that position. Yeah. I think the strength-wise, I think he can muscle his way to a side choke, just like Bobby did.
Side choke. I agree. I think a side choke.
Yep.
If he catches an arm or anything, he's going to have to try to tear
break
it.
Which he possibly may. Which he possibly may.
Possible.
But I look at that, but then on the feet. In the first round, Tony's going to be a little slower. He's not going to be as fast. He's not going to be as explosive as Paddy. But if Tony can get through that first round into that second, I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Tony because Paddy's not the same fighter in the second and the third round. We saw that with the Jared Gordon fight, right? Yep. Just not the same guy. I think it's because he blows himself up so much that it has an effect on him later in the fight. Now, that being said, he just got married. After you get married, you go through a little puffy face, okay? But it's that rejuvenation of, okay, the wedding planning's done. The wife is happy. She's got a ring on it. Okay, whatever it is, I can move on now to getting back to the gym full time and getting my life back on track. So we may see a different Paddy come this fight.
He needs to keep it there.
Yep.
All right, we had Vicente Luque taking on the undefeated, the man who's been the talk of the town in a lot of different ways. Some of it good, some of it not good. Ian Machado Garry. I'll tell you what, I think this could be fight of the night right here. This is a great matchup. Vicente Luque's got power, but he can be stubborn as far as the way he wants to fight the fight. He can take the fight to the ground. Will he? I'm not too sure. And if there's one thing that we've seen out of Ian Garry he's got solid stand up. He uses his distance and his reach very well, and he'll take it to the ground. So I think Vicente Luque has to at least put out there that I'm willing to take you to the ground, put it in his mind. It's a big thing, but this is in my opinion, this is a big, big fight for Ian Garry to prove exactly, hey, I do belong up here in the top 15, which he's in, and I am a guy that you're all going to have to start worrying about. Vicente Luque needs to shut it all down.
Yeah, let's talk about the fight, and then I'll talk about the effects of the outside drama in a sec. Vicente Luque and Ian Garry both were at Kill Cliff. Vicente's still there. I wasn't aware that Ian left. I thought maybe they just trained at different times, or they just didn't train together, knowing the fight was going to happen. That being said, Ian Garry's been dropped. He's been hurt. He's worked through it, came back, got the win. But he is able to be hurt. Vicente Luque is someone, sure, he can get hurt, but he's a pretty good defensive fighter. His style of striking, he is somebody that is he's defensive.
He's pretty
slow, methodical, tight with his defense, lets his combinations go. But he also, I think, has to fight guys that generally will try to take him down. In this fight, I don't think he needs to worry too much about that. Ian Garry may try, but I don't think it's going to be like he's not looking at Gilbert Burns trying to take him down or Bilal Muhammad trying to take him down. It's not world-class wrestling or world-class jiu-jitsu that he has to fear. If this fight hits the ground, it's like, okay, look, I've been here with guys like this. There's a little bit of a threat, but just be smart and get my ass back up to my feet. And I think Vicente will be good. Ian Garry, I think, is the longer. He's obviously the younger, the longer, and the faster fighter. He's got the undefeated record. That first loss is difficult to lose. I mean, he's on a focus. He's on that confidence train. He believes that he can be beat. In his mind, he believes he's the champion. All those things are great, but when you start adding up, John, with what's been going on outside the cage, and I said this when the night you weren't on, when I did the 4-hour show, I refuse to talk about another man's wife. I will not do it. Okay, so if you want to say something, go right ahead, but I'm not going to do it. Look, his relationship with his wife is his own damn business, and that's mine.
His business.
I will not.
Right.
I will not talk about his wife. I will not talk about her book. I will not talk about their relationship. I will not talk about anything she's ever done in the past. That's this young man's wife. He decided he wanted to get married. They decided they wanted to get married. Good on him. He's going to have to deal with whatever comes this way, though. How does that affect his fight? I don't know. We won't know until we get to the fight. That's where I'm going to leave that portion of it all. But outside distractions are never good. Never.
No. Outside distractions and things that are bothering you.
Yeah.
People bother you with their comments and everything. It tends to take over what's the importance of where you need to keep your attention at. And I look at this fight and I see Ian Garry's going to be on the outside. He's going to be moving. He's going to be trying to, bring Vicente Luque, who's going to be hunting him down. He's going to try to bring him into traps, land power shots on him at times, and continue to be elusive throughout the fight. Mm-hmm. It's a good game plan. It's the right way for him to get a win against Vicente. I do have the question, just like you, is where's his head at?
Yep.
Is it that he just completely focused and I don't care about what anyone says. It doesn't mean anything to you. I'm just focused on Vicente Luque. It might be, but it might be where his attention is actually being pulled in other places that are going to do no good for him in the fight.
Well, John,
so we'll see.
Today is Tuesday. We're filming. It's Tuesday night. This show will drop tomorrow morning, which is Wednesday morning. They have press tomorrow.
Yep.
This is for sure going to be a topic. So even if he blocked it out of his mind for the last 2 weeks,
they're going to bring it right back up.
Going to bring it right back up the week of the fight, which I think is shameless because that the guy's got more on his plate to worry about than what his wife wrote about 10 years ago or whatever it was. Like,
well,
that's what's upsetting.
Everyone's saying it's a book.
I don't even know.
It's 11 pages long.
I don't know.
Okay, it's not a book.
John, for some of us that can't read 11 pages, that's a fucking novel, right?
That's a fucking book.
Like, to me, if you gave me when I was like 10 years old, if you gave me something that was 10 pages or 11 pages, I was like, man, this thing's like a novel. Shit, get this thing out of my face. I hated reading. I hated it. Oh man, the distraction. That's all. I mean, and the media is going to bring it up a lot this week, and it sucks because he's got a fight in front of him. He's got a nasty, talented veteran fighter in front of him that is just as good, if not better than him on the feet. It's just I hate to see a young fighter like him at 13-0 get distracted with something like this, walking into a fight because the media is not going to let it go.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, he may have that steel trap where he can just sit there and go, none of it's getting to me.
Yeah.
Maybe he's that guy.
Maybe. We're going to find out.
I don't know. All right, we have Josh Emmett taking on a last week replacement in Bryce Mitchell. This is a great featherweight matchup. I really like this one as far as the fact that they got Bryce Mitchell to come in.
Thug nasty.
Yeah, Thug nasty from Arkansas, baby. He's a farmer.
Love it.
I love that man. But 16-1, taking on Josh Emmett, who we know is, fought for the interim title. He did not get it, but he has power. He can wrestle. And what is Bryce Mitchell going to do if he cannot get Josh Emmett to the ground? Does he have the stand-up to stay with him?
No.
I agree.
He does not have the stand-up. He does not have the power. He does not have the footwork, the head movement. He doesn't have any of those things to deal with Josh Emmett's power.
So how does he get him down?
Fucking pull a rabbit out of the hat. I have no idea, John.
Imanari rolls? What are we talking about here? What's he going to do?
It's going to be more of, look, what we're going to have to take into consideration is that, like I've said earlier, who was I talking about? Scroll up. Let me see. I got to remind myself, CTE. Tony Ferguson. The wrestling. At that age, with Josh Emmett, he's not looking to wrestle. He can wrestle.
No.
But his ability to Granby roll, scramble out of positions is not the same as it was when he was 26, 28, 31. Okay, it's not there. So Bryce Mitchell utilizing his youth, I think, to his advantage and creating scrambles that Josh sure can probably maybe out scramble him, but just will not be able to in some positions because of the flexibility, because of his body is not able to move that way anymore. In the wrestling areas. I think that's how Bryce Mitchell gets him down. He's going to have to chain wrestle. He's going to have to throw big shots to get in and close that distance, because it's only going to take one shot for Josh Emmett to put his lights out.
He's got that power, and we've seen it in the past. So can he? You got to look and you go, the power is not going to go away. The ability to get the punch there, that sometimes is the biggest problem, where the speed starts to change a little bit, but I haven't seen that from Josh Emmett. He's still got fast hands.
He does. I'm so excited about this fight, though, to be honest, because I know it's a last minute replacement. But I forgot even who Josh Emmett was supposed to fight. That's how much more excited I am about this fight. Who was Josh supposed to fight before?
Let me jump into the rankings here.
Jesus Christ, he did.
It was Giga. It was Giga.
Giga got the groin injury.
I mean, I looked at that fight as it could end up being a stand-up fight, but then I also look at it as that if Josh Emmett decided to utilize his wrestling in that fight, it could have been a real quick night against Giga. He could have put Giga away, because Giga on the ground is not the same fighter, nowhere near the same fighter as he is on the feet.
No.
Levels to that game.
But it does play into the whole fact of Josh had to be working on his wrestling in camp, thinking that he's going to fight Giga, and I want to get this fight to the ground.
Yes, but
now he's
different.
Now he's just going to be looking at it in a different fashion.
Yes,
one's offensive, one's defensive,
and that's where the difference lies, though, John. Is that
I know
I spend time pressing you to the fence, shooting the takedowns, getting you down, dominating top position. This time, I'm actually trying to lower my hips, dig my underhooks. Different fight.
Sure.
Different fight. If anything, this doesn't favor Josh Emmett at all, based on the fact that your game plan took a total 180.
Oh, yeah.
Total 180.
Yeah, you went from being the fighter that wanted the fight to hit the ground to being the fighter that wants to keep it on the feet.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but sprawling and brawling is a tough way to sucks. It sucks. So does having to get takedowns, but being relentless, though, is a little bit easier once your cardio's up, but sprawling and brawling is brutal. John, any other honorable mentions you want to give in this prelim? I want to obviously give one to one of my boys that I trained with for a while, but go ahead if there's anybody on there for you.
Look, you got to say that Cody Garbrandt taking on Brian Kelleher.
Good fight.
It's a big fight for Cody as far as he's wants to get back into that groove and continue on. So that's a big one right there. Andre Fili against Lucas Almeida is actually a really good fight. That is a good fight. That's going to be fun to watch. And then Randy Brown going against Selikov. Selikov, great stand-up.
Yeah.
He's basically the Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, he's got all the spinning attacks and everything. But Randy Brown, huge length, tough dude. That's a great fight.
Yeah, I'm going to give some love to my boy Tiger Ulanbekov against Cody Durden. Ulanbekov is someone I've trained with, grapple with. Really, really respectful young man. I love watching him fight. He's 14-2. He's gotten a lot better in the last probably 2 or 3 fights. I'd say 3 or 4 fights, actually. Confidence is up, believes in himself. Click on him. Click on his record. Who did he beat last? Was it last fight? He had a really close fight. Can't remember if he won.
Sorry, I can't find
Ulanbekov. Yeah, you can't find your mouse. Can't find your head. Who did he fight? Stamen, I think. Was it Cody Stamen? No, Nathan Manis.
Nathan Manis?
Yeah, he lost to Tim Elliott. That's right. Yeah, the fight against Nascimento and his fight against Manis, both good fights, very good fights. And the Tim Elliott fight, look, Tim's just Tim. It's the funkiness, man.
Tough to deal with. But I want to give him some love, give him some shout, and I'm looking forward to watching the Feely and Almeida fight. I love watching Feely fight. I love watching him fight. So, all right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. And before we move on to some of the news, go to onlyfans.com/weighing-in, onlyfans.com/weighing-in. Follow some of your top fighters that are over there. You've got Chris Cyborg, Grant Primus, AJ McKee. You've got a lot of Charles Oliveira. There's a lot of top-level fighters that are over there. There's going to be some new signings that are coming up also that'll be on that platform. We're going to start looking to work with them. We just did a show right before we came on here. We did a show on OnlyFans. It was a live show, but you guys can actually take a look at it still. And we talked about the Clarissa Shields sparring session against another male boxer. And that content will only be available on OnlyFans. It is free, you guys, to subscribe to us over there. It is free. You don't have to follow anybody else. You can follow us. It is free. Check us out over there. If your wife asks, say, look, I don't follow anybody else. I only follow the OnlyFans. You can look at my feed.
Yep, you can look at my feed.
As long as you're telling the truth, you're going to come out smelling like a rose.
Smelling like a rose. Shining like a smelling like a rose.
Shining. So I was like shining like a brand new car. Nah.
Yep. But I wanted to also extend to you guys that we will be doing specific content on that platform at onlyfans.com/weighing-in. They will only be available on that platform. So head on over there, subscribe to us. It is free. We do a lot more of our live shows are on OnlyFans. You guys can check us out over there. Well, thank you guys for continuing to support us. And we will be over there quite a bit more coming up as well. So Dave, take us away, buddy.
Dave.
What do you got?
All right, we have a fight announcement galore.
Yes.
First one is Curtis Blaydes and Jalen Almeida.
Man, just call me the matchmaker. I called for this fight.
You did.
Yes.
You did. Call for this. This is a good matchup in the heavyweight division. Look at Almeida has got, great ground game. Curtis Blaydes is a damn good wrestler. Stand-up wise, he's gotten better and better.
Mm-hmm.
But we have seen that his chin can get touched. Almeida has been looking really good lately, but he was unable to get rid of a guy in Derek Lewis that he had him mounted for, 20 minutes of the fight? Jesus.
When you look at this fight, John, and you're the UFC,
yep,
and you're a fan at home going, why'd they put this fight together? You want to explain it to them, or you want me to explain it to
you
them?
can't. I know. Go ahead. It's good.
We put you against Derek Lewis for you to get the takedown, for you to dominate the position, and you get the submission, and move on. We needed a moment for you to look like a rock star. You shit the bed.
Yep.
And so guess what? We're going to give you the guy that we think potentially could beat you, or at least make you fight to your potential. Because this is the thing. The UFC is going to pull the best out of you, and the cream's going to rise to the top, or you're going to shit the bed. And that's exactly what they're looking to say. Like, do we have somebody? Do we have this guy? Is what they're asking. And we're going to...
this guy what we thought he was?
Yeah. And we're going to find out. And because right now, like had he dominated the Derek Lewis fight.
Well, yeah.
But if he got the submission and got him out of there in rounds 1 or 2, he'd be pull up the rankings. He'd be fighting somebody else that was better tailor made for him. The UFC would have said, you know what? Let's give him heavyweights. They would have said,
let's give him Alexander Volkov.
Yep. Let's give him Volkov. Gets the takedown, dominates top position, maybe another submission. Let's wipe our hands of this. Boom. Let's get ready to start seeing who is his maybe Cyril Gahn next. Another guy, not great on his back, not great on the bottom. Okay, got a good takedown defense, but let me see what he can do. Better than Almeida on the feet, but let's see if he can get it. Then let's talk about title shot, because that lets the title shot stuff to settle in. Tom Aspinall, John Jones, Stipe. Let's give him, but no, this shot with Curtis Blaydes, this is we banked on you in the last fight. You laid a pile of shit. And now we're going to actually feed it to you back and go, hey, if you can get this win, John, tell me I'm lying. Tell me.
No,
I'm not.
You're not lying. You got it exactly right.
Look, you guys could say that I'm hating, but I'm being on. John and I, that's why when John looked at me, he goes, this is how the promotion business works, is we wanted the best for you. You didn't do us a favor by getting the finish that we set you up for. And so now we're gonna have to test you and challenge you to see what's next. This is what made Conor McGregor so damn famous. Everything that they put in front of him, he did it. And maybe like the Max Holloway fight was the one where he tore his knee, and it was like that's the one that kind of was like, oh well, he didn't look great in that fight. Yeah, he hurt his fucking knee, but
tore his ACL.
Yeah, but all the other fights
and
though
continued on.
But all the other fights, he did what he was supposed to do. Went out there, he got the knockout, or he made it look good. He looked impressive.
Well, not only did he do what he was supposed to do, he did what he said he would do.
Yeah, he walked the walk, talk the talk, walk the walk, all that shit, right?
That's where the Mystic Mac came from.
Exactly.
So,
hindsight's 50-50.
For a while, he said it, and it happened. So
yeah, and that's the thing. So when he delivered on all ends of when they were making the push for him. Paddy Pimblett is in that struggle right now. Of I need to deliver right now. I need to finish Tony Ferguson. If I don't, my next fight's going to be even worse, like one of the worst. They're setting you up. They're setting Paddy up for success right now. You need to win this fight. You need to finish. If you don't finish, pull up the rankings for the 55-pounders. If you don't finish,
they're not even there.
No, I know they're not. But John, they're going to go, you know what? If you don't finish, I think Jalen Turner is going to be your next fight. I think Drew Dober is going to be your next fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he doesn't get Tony Ferguson out of there, look for them to match him against somebody that doesn't stylistically benefit him at all. You're going to see him. You're going to see a fight with Jalen Turner. You're going to see a fight with you might see a Bobby Green fight just because Bobby and him may just do this and it may sell itself. You know what I mean? I'm just, I think that may end up being something. But they're going to give him somebody that stylistically is not a good matchup for him. And they're going to see if the cream rises to the top if he doesn't finish Tony Ferguson. And that's what we're seeing right now with Almeida. Almeida's got to get a win. He's got to make it look good. He's got to be impressive. They did this to him because of his last fight.
They gave him one of the toughest matchups for him there is in the division.
Yeah, true. Absolutely true. So. Next
fight, we have a strawweight fight announcement. Amanda Lemos versus Tatiana Suarez.
Let me tell you.
I tell you what, I look at this one and I like the fight.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna put it out there. Look, Tatiana Suarez is a problem for that entire division. She is got phenomenal grappling. She's getting better all the time. Her striking has gotten better. They don't want to put her against Weili. They like Weili as the champion.
Why do they like Weili? John, answer the question. I know the
entire
answer.
Chinese market.
There
Let's just be honest.
There you go.
So you look and you go, they have Alexa Grasso, the Mexican contingent there. Mm-hmm. She's got all of Mexico going crazy for her. That's great. So it's better to keep Weili, but gotta be honest, man. Tatiana Suarez deserves it. Mm-hmm. She's gone in there. She won that Ultimate Fighter. She, came out. She got sick. She's come back from that. and she has looked fantastic in her return fights. She's gonna, this is a good fight. Amanda Lemos is tough, but I look at this and it's like you're gonna keep on pushing her into the next fight, because you're afraid of what could happen if you put her into that championship fight.
Yeah, this is we've seen The Rock, we've seen John Cena, we've seen LeBron James all bend the knee to China. All of them.
Yeah, well,
they've all bent the knee.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on right now. I mean, Tatiana Suarez is 10-0, finishing everyone. Like, I'm sorry. If anyone deserves a title shot, it's her. I know she's coming off of a long layoff, but she's got two very impressive wins.
Two good wins in a row.
What they've done is they put the toughest fight for her in front of her, I think, in this division. The rest of them, I think, and then outside of her, it'd be Weili. That's it. And Weili's going to be a tough fight for her, given all of her recent experience in working with Henry Cejudo in the wrestling. I think that's going to be a factor with Weili.
Oh, look, Weili she's special as far as super strong, very athletic. She's a great champion. I'm not saying she's a great fighter, but if you're going to say matchup wise, stylistically, who's going to be one of her tougher fights? Suarez.
Yeah.
You can sit there and say Carla Esparza. No, she's number one. That's not a tough fight for her. Either is Zhao. Not going to be a tough fight for her. No. So you just take a look and you go, all right, I understand why you're putting her against Lemos, but eventually I think you're going to have to put her against Weili.
You know what's funny is the fight that I really want to see, and I know it's probably not going to happen, at least not in the next 2 years, is I would like to see Tatiana Suarez and Mackenzie Dern.
Be interesting.
It would be a good fight.
Would be.
It would be a good fight because Tatiana Suarez can fucking wrestle, and her grappling's great MMA grappling. And Mackenzie Dern, she can fucking grapple. She can't wrestle for shit, but she can strike. But she's got some striking. She can take a shot. John
she puts her chin up in the
air. She does, but she throws.
Man,
she's not afraid.
She does throw.
She's
tough. I'm not saying she's not tough.
Yeah,
she sticks her chin up in the air, and it's like you gotta stop.
Which makes for fun fights, John. When the technique's not great, those are usually some of the best fights.
Put your chin down. Put your chin down.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying while I'm watching the fight. Put your chin down.
I get it. But I would love to see that fight.
Can I just say before we move on to this next fight here, 9 years ago today, Carla Esparza won the inaugural title, and it's just crazy to see she's still sitting there at number one. I mean, obviously she's not been at number one, but she's still there at the top. Well to see 9 years on.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, because she went through some hard times for a while. She was in she was ranked like number 8 and 10.
She's pregnant now.
I think she just had a baby.
Okay.
I think they just had the baby. Dave, can you look that up? I want to make sure, but I believe she just had the baby.
I knew she was
good
pregnant,
for her.
But yeah, congratulations.
You've obviously, I know, met her, but have you ever hung out with her?
Yes, I have.
She's an absolute sweetheart.
Sweetheart
of a person. Just so
It's funny because
kind.
when we were in Chicago, one of her best friends was Felice Herrig. And they used to be. They were, frickin' frack together when they were, but they were fun to be around, and she's just a good person.
Baby came in September.
Oh, okay.
September what?
I didn't know that.
September what?
Congratulations.
Yeah, September 23rd.
I just missed my birthday. Also born on the cusp of Virgo and what's the other one? Leo? I think it's a Leo is that one after me.
Libra.
There you go. I know it started with an L. Sorry, man. I'll pay attention to it. I'm on the 21st. Habib is on the 20th. Javier Mendez is the 19th. Habib is the 20th, and I'm the 21st. Isn't that weird? It's kind of weird.
No,
I think it's kind of weird, but anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing top. This is a really tough fight for Suarez. The speed, the footwork, the power of Lemos, I think is going to give Suarez some problems, but I think once the fight hits the ground,
say goodbye.
Yeah. It's Suarez. She's good, man, and operating on all levels. With Patchy Mix as her boyfriend, the two of them just helping each other get better, man, grinding away,
Yep.
getting better in their MMA jiu-jitsu world. So good stuff. What else you got for us, Dave?
All right, well, another fight here. We got Tuivasa and Marcin Tybura in February at the UFC 298 pay-per-view.
John, tell me how you really feel.
It's like one of those. First off, I love Tuivasa. He's funny. He's got personality. But you take a look at this fight, and it's one of those, okay. But in the end, no one's really caring because neither guy is going to be the guy. You're going to say that I like Tuivasa. I do. I think he's great. I want to see him do another shoey. I ain't never doing that shit, but it's great to see him do it. He's a, if you're going to get in a brawl in the alley, you want Ty as one of the guys with you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his skill set is never going to be the skill set that's going to get him past that next level. And he's fun to watch. Because he'll go out there and bang. But every time that I watch him against that guy in that next level, I'm cringing because I know, move, do this, do that. And, it's just, he's working, past, his skill level as far as, when he fights a Cyril Gahn or someone like that. It's just, that's a tough fight for him, tough matchup.
Pull up the rankings again for me.
But this fight right here, both guys are going to bang.
Yeah.
So it's a good fight.
I mean, outside of Spivak, which is number 8,
okay,
that whole division is, the heavyweights are weak. That's it. And then you have Francis Ngannou, and you got Ryan Bader, and you've got who's the one from the PFL that just won? See, don't even know. I got what's his name? God, what's his name?
Ferrer.
Dude, he's tough.
Ferrer.
He's tough. He's a mountain of a man, by the way. He's huge. 6'8".
6'8".
Yeah, 6'8". Yeah. Look, just those 3 guys against any of these top 8 guys, they all make for great fights. But that in the whole sport, John, those are the best guys. Yep. That's all you have. It's sad that we don't have more and better heavyweights because
but you gotta look and say it's understandable.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay? So you're a good athlete.
Yeah.
And you can go to the NFL and you're a real big guy. And so you play offensive line and you make your blindside tackle and you make freaking a $25 million contract. What's better, that or fighting in MMA for the UFC and getting your head beat in?
No, I do understand what you're saying, but your percentage of actually making the NFL is a lot less than your percentage of being a champion in the UFC at heavyweight. I
don't know. The champion in the UFC has 2 brothers that played in the NFL.
This is true. But my thing is maybe what I overstated that, I should say, but like them being a top 10 fighter, the chances of them doing that are pretty high. If I took it like Greg Hardy, what was his name? Was it Greg Hardy?
Yeah,
Greg Hardy. Yeah. You take him, a little bit more training, a little bit more focus, I think, on his part, he would have been a top 5 heavyweight fighter. Awesome. He wasn't afraid to get hit. He was actually out there slinging it. He could have beat Tuivasa, made a mistake, and got fucking knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like he just needed more time, more experience, that type of thing. You take somebody of an NFL caliber who is maybe on the practice squad, and you give them 2 years of hard training. I think they end up being a number 1, maybe even heavyweight champ. Brock Lesnar. He had wrestling, didn't like to get hit, UFC champ.
Nope.
That's how much that's how little you need to know to be a heavyweight champ. I'm just being honest. Look, let's take a look, and I've said this constantly. The guys that can wrestle are going to normally end up being the champ. John Jones, Cain Velasquez, DC, Brock Lesnar, Stipe. I mean, those guys can wrestle. These guys here, Tybura, Tuivasa, they can't wrestle. And if you can't wrestle at all, you're not going to be champ. This, which is kind of weird to me, that Curtis Blaydes is not the champ yet. Like, I mean, he's not going to be the champ now that John's there for a second, and Tom Aspinall is really good on the ground and just, a young version of everybody, I think, right now, and he's the future. But I'm just simply saying that the heavyweight division is a little bit in turmoil right now. It's not the greatest of heavyweight divisions. That's all. Across the sport. Okay. It's across the sport, not just in the UFC,
no.
Not just in any other organization. It's across the sport. It's sad because the heavyweight division is what I feel dictates combat sports. Boxing, MMA, it can dictate how much success the sport gets is the heavyweight division. And that's why during that time, remember the time when the Klitschko brothers were champion? They didn't fight enough. No one cared about boxing for that moment. It was only lucky enough that we ended up getting guys like Floyd Mayweather and Arturo Gatti and Ward and those guys that were willing to fight each other and fuck each other up. That's what kept people interested in boxing. Remember Showtime did the Series 7? Was it called the Series 7? Remember, what was that?
Super 6?
Super 6. Sorry, was it Super 6? It was, okay, yeah, Super 6. They did the Super 6. I don't know why I came with Series 7, man. Jeez. Anyways, I knew it had something to do with rhyming. So the Series 6, they had that. And even that kind of fell apart. But gosh, there were some damn good fights.
It was good.
Oh, man, that was a great idea. I wish it would have worked out better.
168 pounders.
Jeez.
Man.
Carl Froch,
Abraham,
Kessler,
Abraham, Ward.
Fuck. Just great. Jermaine Taylor. Yeah. Just some great fights, man. God, they were so fun. I was there live at a couple of them. They were just
Durrell was also.
This is freaking insane. This is great. Anyways, man, the good old days of boxing. All right, what else you got for us?
All right, last one to wrap up on here is Jake Paul making comments about not having to promote or not wanting to promote his next fight here coming up. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this out.
Can we hear it? There was something that I wanted to say about this, and I actually CT kicked in and I forgot. But go ahead.
I don't know why they want me to keep on promoting this fucking fight. I don't care.
He's fighting on December 15th against.
I don't care. This is literally just so I can get experience. Like I'm wearing the same outfit as my last fight. Like I'm just showing up and knocking this guy the fuck out. It has nothing to do. We don't need to promote this shit.
But it's the road to what?
It's the road to
becoming a world champion. You can't just throw that off to the side. He is a world champion.
No, I am a world champion. I don't need to elaborate the
who
manifestation.
Who said that he's a world champion?
The talent, the hard work, the skill set, all the attributes of a world champion. So and
he's going to showcase that on December 15th.
I am that already. Mm-hmm. And I'm willing and manifesting the rest into existence to become the world champion.
John, I'm also a Super Bowl champion.
I'm gonna manifest that.
I do remember I do remember, Dave. I want you to pull this up. There's something I thought I actually put it in the text thread.
Hold on, why did you want that up?
Because I wanted this to be,
because you wanted me to throw up in my mouth.
Where are you gonna send it?
Trying to find it. I thought I just sent it.
The one the one thing that I want to say off of that thing with Jake Paul is like Jake Paul's got his followers and his backing, and like I said, he can box.
Yeah,
but if you don't care about your fight, why is anyone else gonna care?
Yeah, let me pull this up real quick. Go ahead, John. Keep talking, buddy, because it's getting stale over here.
I asked you a question you didn't answer, but I mean, honestly, you take a look at the whole thing, and I do know who he's fighting. It's Andre. I don't even remember his last name, but it's like, why is this fight? Is this a pay-per-view fight? And if it's a pay-per-view fight, what the hell? No one's gonna buy it.
Yeah,
gonna buy it? No.
Dave, I'm gonna send it to you right now. This is what I thought of when I sent it to the news. This is what I thought of, John, when he started talking about I'm a champion. I manifested it. I believed in it. I thought it was gonna, I've trained hard. I've put the work in. And what automatically went through my mind was this. I'm a model on Instagram. That's what she said. And I said, yeah, I'm a soldier on Call of Duty. Like, this is automatically what went through my mind. I'm like, just because, like, everyone believes they're a model on Instagram. Everyone believes, like, because I play Call of Duty, I'm a soldier. Like, oh, I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to die in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
sure,
yeah, really, you are. Just because in your mind you're already a champ. What do you mean you're a champion? You've never.
He's manifested.
He's never. Look, we talked about Pantoja earlier. He's never been through something like that Pantoja did with Moreno. No. It's disrespect to say you're a champion when I've seen guys like that lay it on the line to get there, to achieve that goal. That shit pissed me off. I wanted to come up with this because it was a joke, but to hear you say and hear your yes men sit there and say you are a world champion, you are this. Shut the fuck up. That bothered me to the point of like, man, this is nuts. Oh, I manifested it. I've done this. I think it's great that you can visualize that. You know what? I'm going to be a world champion one day. I believe I can do it. I believe all that. Don't call yourself a world champion. You haven't done it. You haven't even. You're not even close. You're not even close. It's maybe I'm being rough and maybe I'm being harsh on it. But when I look at guys like Pantoja go through what he went through in his last fight, what Brandon Moreno's been through in some of his fights, what Dominic Cruz has gone through in terms of the 3 years off, coming back and winning back his title.
Yeah,
you haven't done any of that shit. You haven't done none of that. You know, and that's what drives me crazy because these guys have been through the lowest of lows and they've struggled through some of the toughest times and they fought their asses off and literally picked themselves up off the ground. I mean, go back and watch the BJ Penn and GSP fight. I believe it was the first fight when he's trying to quit on the stool in between rounds. His coach goes, no, get your ass back out there. And he goes out there and wins the next 2 rounds and dominates the fight. Yep. That's what being a champion is. Not handpicking your opponents, not picking old MMA fighters. No, man. Like you going out there, I know you're putting the work in. We see it. I see it.
He puts the work.
Can't be that no good. Doubt. He's good. He's good.
Work in.
But to say you're a world champion is disrespect to all the other world champions who have done it, whether it's in MMA or whether it's boxing. That shit pisses me off. When you got yes men that follow you around on your podcast and say shit like that, it drives me nuts. Drives me crazy. There's my rant for the day. I didn't want to end it this way.
I didn't want to end it this way, but I had to.
I had to, man. I was like, man, it just was bothering me. It was bothering me. I knew I was trying to go with the funny way, with the whole, I'm a soldier on Call of Duty, and yeah, she's an Instagram model. But then the real Josh Thompson came out for a split second. Oh man.
For everyone out there, it is Christmas time, so go to our merch store and get yourself a beautiful hoodie that will keep you warm during the winter months that are happening right now because it's cold. If you're here in Tennessee, it's cold. If you're there in Texas, it's cold.
It is cold.
It's all cold. And so you got to get a hat. You got to get a hoodie. You take the hoodie, you put it over the hat, and we're ready to go.
And we will see ya.